feel paralyzed. But that's alright.
Oh my god!
Yo guys, what is up? Max on our Borderlands 3 video, and today we're updating KHAOS Queen, my most popular Amara build, to level 72. Now, unfortunately, I put out KHAOS Queen like 2 weeks ago, and I updated it to 65. So, just gonna be going over the new skill points because there isn't too much to change here, and also we'll be talking about the changes that happened with anoints and what is now the best anoint for this build and what the anoints you should be using are. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And with that, guys, let's get right into it. So, I'm sure you want to know what we did with those last 7 points, and I'm gonna delay and ramble on until the end of the video to show you. Just kidding. Showing on screen right now is the skill tree for KHAOS Queen. Now, for those 7 points, because I made this build so recently, I didn't really shift around anything else besides these last 7 points. Now, where those points are going is first into Heavy Rain. Now, this is an amazing skill that's going to give Amara increased projectile speed and splash damage, and is good on pretty much every weapon. I didn't spec it originally because at the time I was really enjoying the Herald. The Herald is still amazing on this build, but so many weapons benefit from Heavy Rain that it's hard to just like say we're not going to take it just because of the Unkempt Herald, because there's so many choices now and so many weapons with these changes, with the cartels, with all these anoints coming back, so many weapons that I wanted to use. So we did spec into Heavy Rain. If you do want to use an Unkempt Herald, I wouldn't, but just like literally so many weapons are going to take huge benefits from Heavy Rain, and so we're taking that. The other 2 points, and I actually moved 1 point from Alacrity into this so I could get 3. You don't have to do that. You could go 2 out of Vigor, 2 into Vigor, and 3 into Alacrity. That's really, really nice, but we'll talk about why that's not as important though. But Vigor, this is a skill I've avoided like the plague on Amara. Now, I'm not sure if I never realized this or if it got changed recently. I could have sworn this had a stack limit of 3. I could have sworn it did. Maybe it didn't, but Vigor is now uncapped movement speed on Amara, and when you're using Ties That Bind, it reads you're going to get movement speed, team movement speed for 10% for 8 seconds when you kill an enemy with your action skill, right? When you're using Ties That Bind, this is going to trigger like crazy. You kill 4 people, 5 people with 1 Ties That Bind, you're going to get 50% movement speed, and once again, this does not have any stack limit. So going into areas that are heavily populated, like the Malawan takedown, like any of the proving grounds, like cartels, you can get really nice movement speed going on Amara. It's nothing crazy. It's not like driver levels of speed, but you will be moving around quicker, which I really enjoy. If you do not like a quick movement playstyle, you like slower, more methodical, going helping hands for damage reduction, you could put these 3 points into Unweave the Rainbow. So if you want to use like cryo damage, you get this extra bonus damage. I really do like Vigor, and this is my spec that I've gone with. Next up, the rest of the skill tree, pretty self-explanatory. I do want to talk about Infusion. Infusion is now, we're going 5 out of 5 again on it. I went 5 out of 5 on the last iteration. Some of the best weapons in the game, the No Pew Pew, the OPQ, the Free Radical, the Plasma Coil, the Hellwalker, even the Rowan's calls, the Lucian's calls, they're all limited in their elements. They're elemental locked, or they only come in a few elements. Having 5 out of 5 into Infusion so you can make weapons like the Rowan's call and give it some corrosive damage, or make the Free Radical do fire damage and convert that damage is so nice, and I definitely recommend going 5 out of 5 in that. Next up, let's talk about the gear and our skill tree. Or sorry, just the gear. So Amara's annoyance got changed, right? Consecutive hits got nerfed. It's one of the main annoyances that we were using on this build. We went from 200% weapon damage to 100% weapon damage. I still think this is a really good, if not one of the best anointments that you can use on Amara. consecutive hits is so strong. I know it only stacks to 100% damage, and next to mags or ASC 100 does that as well, and you can use ASC 100. That'll work great too. But the reason consecutive hits is so good is because Amara does all these dot damage. We've got conflux, we've got dot spreading. You'll stack up consecutive hits so quickly, and Amara desperately needs the gun damage. That's the biggest thing for why consecutive hits is so great, is because genuinely Amara just needs the gun damage. Next up, next to mags on weapons that you're not going to have to reload too much, such as the Rowan's Call, which have bullets coming back to your magazine, is so good. Splash is also really good. The top 3 annoyance for this build are going to be consecutive hits, next to mags, and splash, with one that I want to talk about that's really strong, and that is the new anoint or newly buffed anoint. Killing an enemy grants 13% weapon damage and reload speed for 25 seconds. Now, this is not an anoint that I'd recommend for all weapons, but this changes certain weapons on this build for the better, and it makes some weapons way stronger. For example, the Hellwalker is kind of an awkward weapon to position anoints with. Technically, you'd usually be using like consecutive hits. Next to mags is a little awkward on this thing, but because the Hellwalker are going to reload so much, getting this weapon damage and reload speed, you shoot into a Ties That Bind, murder everything with this thing, and you've got reloads, like blindingly fast reload speed. That is part of the reason why I was able to spec 1 point out of Alacrity and put it into Vigor, is because you can run this anoint on any of your weapons. Once again, I don't think it's quite as strong as consecutive hits, just because you lose that bossing potential with it, but using that anoint next to mags and consecutive hits are going to be your best bet for this build. It's pretty versatile. This is a versatile build. This is a use any weapon kind of build. My personal favorites are the Rowan's Call. I absolutely love this thing. The Free Radical is probably one of the best weapons. I would say top 3 weapons right now for Amara. It's so strong. The Hellwalker is amazing. The KHAOS is great. The Reflex is beautiful. The Unkempt Herald's great. The KHAOS is amazing. Next up, cartel weapons, the OPQ and the no pew pew, and the needle gun. Now, these are 3 new weapons, and 3 new weapons that work beautifully on this build. Both the OPQ, the no pew pew, and the needle gun, you like cannot go wrong with these things. The no pew pew is a gun that you can actually rock the killing and reload speed on, because you're going to reload that thing a decent amount. Same with the OPQ, or consecutive hits or next to mags, both work really well. And then the needle gun is amazing on Amara with Ties That Bind damage. All 3 weapons are these going to shine. Amara has so much weapon viability. Now, real quick, let's talk about bossing. Bossing, I switched to 250 phase cast. If I'm going to take down a boss, I use 250 phase cast. You need to apply laid bare to bosses. You need to get double stacks of transcend. You double phase cast twice, and your bossing damage will be there, no problems. Lastly, for the gear, we're using an action skill start revolter. No changes there. The Berserker, no changes there. I'm using splash weapon damage, Malhorn weapon accuracy, the Pearl of Ineffable Knowledge, and Hunter Seekers. Grenades typically like don't matter for me. You could use a Mesmer here, you could use a Hunter Seeker, you could use an It's Piss. I just don't throw grenades on Amara. I really just don't. So grenades are up to you, but as long as you got that ASC on your grenade, as long as you're not using shock, I don't recommend using shock because you're gonna have 200% shock damage from the revolter. You should be good to go. Guys, that is it for the video. Just wanted to keep a little bit shorter one. KHAOS Queen, the save file will be in the Discord if you guys want to download it. It is extremely versatile and an extremely strong build. I do have another Amara build coming out for you guys. Actually, there are some buffs, like some characters benefited more from these skill point increases, and one of the builds that benefited from it most is Driver Amara. Driver Amara is amazing. Should have a video on that relatively soon, and I will have more on like Zane and Mose and Flack and all that good stuff. Guys, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Take care. Peace.
I was putting